Ah, Winston. Here is the tiny little bearing that has failed in my gearbox because of this £15 piece of plastic and 4 ball bearings and a bit of metal. That's what costs thousands to get to and get out and put back in and replace and put back together again. What a little sausage. Isn't it daft? That little thing there. Incidentally, I've just fixed my phone screen, so I'm well chuffed. Hurrah! Finally, we have separation. I had to rig up this zebedee bar with nuts and washers, like so. Oh, it's not going to be. And then my old tool there, what's left of the 3-leg puller, my little 899 one, held onto the top there with a 12mm and 19mm that. But crikey, 3 times I tightened it up, started to actually bend this steel galvanised bar, which is jolly thick. Undid it, did it up, undid it. And I thought, you know what, I got to a point where I did it up tight again, and I thought, you know, it's either going to work or it isn't going to work. In the end, it just went beans, and it went pop. That little bearing has popped in there. So I can now undo all these gubbins and then separate top half and bottom half. Right, I don't know if I said earlier, basically a piece of a metre long piece of 10mm bolt bar, threaded bar all the way down. You get a metre of it, £3.50 in tool station. So you screw that into that hole there, right up to his butt, as far as it'll go. Don't tighten it, grips, and no need, as long as it's in the teeth. And then this one I've just made up, it's just an aluminium bracket, for goodness sake. Measured the 2 holes there, draw the holes, put that on there, bolted those bolts back in there. I think M8s, 8mm bolts. Yeah, and yeah, that's how I did it. So kudos. The tool for that is nearly 300 quid. The kit that does everything. So I think £3.50 to 300 quid is quite a saving. Oh, blooming heck, Charlie, that was a bit of a battle, wasn't it? Right, got me blue. Right, what I've done basically is have a bit of a tidy up. So I've cleaned that surface off there, and I've cleaned the surface off here, because when we start taking out the gear towers, they need to go in order, respectively, so things go back in the right way. Right, let's try and lift this off, and then we've got to get in there with a little tiny magnet, try and bing all the bits of broken metal that are in there, thoroughly inspect all the gears, make sure no teeth are missing or chipped teeth, anything like that, and defer all these magnets. Look at all that. Ooh. I'm just hoping against hope that there is nothing mechanically wrong inside the gearbox. When that selector shaft failed, I've just pulled into a McDonald's car park in Swindon, and I went to put it in. I put it into reverse, and I took my foot off the brake very, very gently. I don't know why I did that, but I just did, and it started to like, foot down, neutral, and parked it exactly where it was, and got it recovered back to my house. So it wasn't as if I was going along or I beamed it away from the lights or anything like that. It was just literally like that. And it's so hopefully the part that broke and snapped, which is a little sleeve with the 4 little ball bearings, that's not good to have running around inside your box. So fingers crossed. Anyway, I need to put you down for a second whilst I lift this off, and then we'll have a look inside with the little magnet and see what we can find. Okay, are you sitting comfortably? You have to mind my carcass. Right. Jiggly, jiggly, jiggle. Ooh, look at all that. Right, let's have a look inside here. Yeah, we've got little bits of swarf down in the bottom there. Like I say, this really needs to go now into a paraffin cleaner I have a new bearing to go in there. It's a big circlip. See the big circlip on it? So that needs to come out. What are these races like? Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, nothing untoward there. Now you have to do a bit of modification in here to get that fork to sit in there, because instead of having the little bearings that break on the ends now, it's got a rubber block. So I'm thinking it's whichever one of these it is, it has to be reamed out a little bit. Now, I don't think that's DIY Bob job, is it? It's something that needs to be done by a professional with the right toolage. So yeah, that's okay. Right. Hockey docky, matey. Let me get you off your stand and we'll go and have a look inside. I'll just pop this underneath. Yeah, it's crawling. Right, we have sonic screwdriver. Right, 2 seconds. Ooh. Okay, right, let's go looking around. Well, straight away we can see something there. Look, that's that. Let me just get let me pause you there. I'm going to get a wet wipe out. Okay, so we'll just pluck that off of there. Let's say that's one of the parts that snap off. It was joined in like a U-bend sort of shape, so let's pop that up in, have another dive in. See, there's one of them there, look, and it's gone off of here. Here it is. Look, it's gone. That is what has snapped. Now, luckily, we can look at this and see where it's at. What a naff design. It's literally those two little pegs, look, holding that on there. And looking at the other side, this piece is still there. So, the only thing that's really come off, the ball bearings are still intact. So, that's great. But I'm still going to have a look around to see if there are any more. What a shit design, honest to God. I have actually bought a pair of these to go, but what's the point of putting these back in when they just fail? Why? Anyway, let's have another route around in here. I've got me tickling stick, so we can go around and have a look. Yeah, the new one has got this on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the new fork in all those holes and see what's going on. Right, now I don't see anything wrong with these teeth at the moment. Let's have a rotate. Ooh, what's that? Ooh. Should I have done that? I don't know. Don't know. Are those markings supposed to stay on there? Because it's literally like just, I don't know, paint. Let's keep going. Yeah, there's no divots out of those. That's good. So literally you have to sort of jiggle these up slightly, pull them back slightly, jiggle them out, and so on and so forth. Now, these teeth look alright. I think if there was a gouge on one, there'd be a gouge sort of all the way around, wouldn't there, in one place? I don't know, might be talking waffle. Let's see if I can spin it around a bit. Yabba dabba doo. See, that's what it's just supposed to do. Literally. Up and down like that. There's another magnet there. Third up. There's a magnet here. All third up. Magnet there. Literally magnet there. Literally magnets everywhere. Which is great. Isn't it? So that needs to be tapped back in that dowel. I think we are good to go. Obviously when I get these shafts out, I will rotate them. What we got down in there? Anything down in there? Nope. I'll rotate the buggers and just make sure. Apparently you're supposed to put like a drift or something down in there, just in that hole, so it stops this inner gears disappearing. So yeah, I should really address that, shouldn't I? Okay, well, I am so pleased that I've gotten this far. These are all fed via the gearbox oil. Looking good. I shouldn't really be touching them with my skanky hands, but they will get a good clean. This is the little sausage that was pressed into that bearing. I need to get that cap out of there because there's a new cap to go back in it. Yeah. Geary night. Good. Right, now comes the fun part of taking it all out. Look at this, it's huge. That reverse selector and 6-gear fork is freaking massive. It is literally the biggest thing. Where's the new one? Can I? Oh, it's in the shopping trolley. Get him out in a bit. Look at that. What a rubbish idea. Unbelievable. Mind you, the diameter of that is larger than the diameter of that. So I'm thinking that this diameter, the new one, is going to be this size. So I don't know. I might even have to Google what the modification is to change this around. Right, that's enough fanning around easy. Get yourself sorted out, get the gears out, and give them a good clean. Okay, well, we've got this forky business out of there. Bit of jiggling and a bit of wriggling. And as you can see, there's the bottom slidey bearing, which goes into this cup here. And that's all right. I mean, technically, there's nothing wrong with that itself. It's the bearing on the top. You could just clip a new one on and off you go, put it back together. But what's the point? So anyway, I have my gearage set out in order there. I've checked all that. There was no real swarf on it. I did notice this ring had all those like little silver lines on it here. This is magnetic. Okay, so you could see the sort of the north south poles, and it had all that grey mucky on it, and it's now on that raglet. That was a lot of microns of metal, if you like. In here, incidentally, was this little sausage, and this had the grey stripes on it, you see, and I thought, ooh, I recognise that. So I gave that a wipe off, put my old thingy to it. It's magnetic, look. So yeah, so I'll clean that up. That just literally just sits in there. So yeah, I tried both sides. They are both magnetic, either side, so one doesn't repel and one pulls. They're both magnetic, so that's all good. Right, basically I don't really need to get this shaft out. This is the main output shaft in there. So ooh, we have wheelage. So I am going to leave that. I'm going to go and watch a video I've been watching, this a German chappie. Yeah, because I don't know all this stuff. I just go and watch stuff and put it into practice. But I'll watch it 4 or 5 times. But I didn't see exactly whether he undid these screws and undid the circlip the other side and had this shaft out. I think you need to, because it was a bit of a sausage getting all of that out without taking the shaft out. So I'm just going to go and sit down, have another brew, and see what I can do. So here they are after a clean. It's not bad, is it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so much better, isn't it? Now I've got to look into what modifications I need to do to one of these. Sort that out. These bearings are all good. All these journals are lube-rubed, so that's all good. Protected so it doesn't rust. let's just pop that back under there. Flipping it. Okie dokie. Right, now we are left with this little monkey. Yeah, it's all clean. Oh, nice and clean. Like I say, all these little floating journals, they're all lubed up nicely. That's all good. Like I say, it's one of these two. I think it's this one that needs modifying. So I'm going to have to get the new fork out and see what the situation is with that. Right, I'm going to also put the new fork, where is it, next to this one. See if there's any physical differences in length or anything like that. So that's to be done post next, because next, this is the primary shaft. Okay, let's just turn that over. Okay, so you've got the primary shaft there. Now, having come this far and cleaned all this stuff out using various materials, I'm wondering now whether I've got any cleaning solution in there, and whether it's broken down the grease inside that bearing. So I've tried to look for that bearing, which is, like I say, the primary shaft bearing. Let's just put that back on its head. Here is the end of this shaft bearing, the main shaft. Okay, that pops in the end. Do you remember? And the clip goes on. That's why I had to pull the two casings apart. That's that bearing, the new one to go in there. So why not just replace that bearing as well? Well, why not indeed? What I was going to do was take the circlip out underneath, see if the shaft just fell out or whether it needs to be pressed out, and I was going to whip off the blue cover, clean out and repack with grease, and then pop the plastic cover back on, but it would never be 100% again, would it? So I jumped on Tinterweb. Well, actually I phoned a mate of mine up that works in Haley Engineering, Hayley, in Andover, and I said, have you got a bearing that's 63 millimeters external diameter, 40 mil internal diameter, and 15 mil depth, because that is what this bearing's measurements is. You know what? You come up good. He said this is probably better than OEM original. They are a really good engineering firm, and I've never had a bearing from these guys that haven't been more than 100% fantastic. So there we are. If you need to look at that. Anyway, it's an NSK bearing. Okay, if you guys are looking for one, and the part number is that. Alright, so if you're looking to change your bearing as well, if you've got this far, same as me, that's the number of the bearing. So I just need to now somehow get this out of there. I have had to order some more long nose circlip undoers or external and internal to see if I can get that out. I have put some engine oil down in there and it's freed up a little bit, but it was a bit scratchy. That's why I'm changing it, because you can't have anything scratchy in your bearings, because it will just wear away in no time, get loose, and a whole host of nastiness can ensue from that. Right, kind of getting there, aren't we? Once I've changed that bearing, then it's just a question of paraffining all these three off, making sure everything rotates through, there's no gritty or grinding or anything like that in there. There were no metal fragments in the gearbox apart from that tiny little piece there, so there weren't any other pieces flying around in there, which is brilliant news. And then it's just a question of popping all this back in the right order, obviously, and modifying the new bracket. Let's go and get the one out and have a look at it. Okay, well, there they are, side by side or up and downy. Okay, the only thing I can see on this that is different is the diameter of these bushings. So instead of having this silly fucking ball bearing, snappy, slidey fucking aftermarket thought, they have put the bushings on there, which on both ends, which are on all the other ones. Absolutely bonkers, isn't it? So what I have to do, I fear, is that is the selector fork for there, like so. I have to, it looks like, remove this thimble from in there. I need to get that out of there in order for this new modification to slide in there, because it doesn't fit in that hole, and it also doesn't fit which way around would that be? That would be that way around. You got another cap, another thimble in there, you see, and that doesn't fit down in there either. So I'm guessing that that cup has to come out as well, and either a different size cup goes in there, or these are designed to fit it in just in that alloy shaft. I'm hoping it's the same diameter, or just slightly larger diameter than this, so that will then sit in there. That's cool. In actual fact, getting that out will make this, fitting this, a whole lot easier, because I had to literally bend it out to get, because that goes under there, you see, like so. So I had to literally to get it out. Hence that plastic cap snapping off. I bet you were wondering how I did that, but that's how I did it. Right, so that's that. That's that. And you do a lot of paraffin cleaning, get everything freed up, oil free, paraffin clean that, and all the rest of it. Make sure all this stuff is okay. Okay, it looks pretty good. This is the differential with the planetary gears inside. Let's have a little turn around there. There are your planetary gears, which allows one wheel to turn faster than the other one, basically. So when you put drive through here, it equally distributes, if you've got grip, to both the wheels. One there and one there. Drive shaft there, drive shaft there. So yeah, when you go around the corner, obviously the internal radius of the car is sharper than the external radius. So the external wheel will turn faster than the internal wheel, which is only turning a little bit to go around the corner, whereas the outside one's turning a lot to go around the corner, if that makes any sense to you. So yeah, that is it. That is the planetary gears, and jolly good invention that is too. So when you get a limited slip diff, you might have heard that term used before. Basically, there is some extra gubbins in here which stops this. You know, so if you beamed it, and one wheel was on a bit of gravel and one wheel was on the tarmac, the wheel on the gravel would just spin. And a limited slip diff stops all the power going to the gravel wheel. It limits it. So the wheel on the tarmac also has traction, and there you go. So you get more beans off the line instead of spinning one wheel. That's basically a limited slip diff, in my opinion. You'll probably go, E.T., you're talking a load of testicles again. There you go. That is a differential. Okay, I really need to put these bolts back in just to keep that centralized, because if that moves, like I just showed you there, that can move all like out of sync. Well, that is not what you want to happen. It needs to be vertical. So I need to put a bolt back down in there just to stop that sliding around, because if that's out of line, you put all the gubbins back in, you put the gearbox back on, yeah, trying to get that centralized, nightmare, probably. Okay, right, let me crack on, go and get me brew, I've not been in the shed now for about a week because of my condition. It really is limiting. The car needs to be back on the road. My car's MOT runs out soon. Caroline needs to be mobile. So I just have to get this done, come hell or high water. So that's my situation. That's why I'm doing it myself. We can't afford to get it done in the garage. And time scale, I've got this far, so therefore I have to carry on and finish the project. And I'm kind of looking forward to it, but most days I get out of bed, or crawl out of bed, and I am completely and utterly devoid of any inkling to do anything. It's horrible. It really is. You know stuff needs doing, but you just can't do it, and I can't put that into words really. It's tricky. Right, enough of me babbling on and crying in me brew, isn't it? Right, let's crack on. Like I say, brew, and catch you lot in the stew. I don't know. Right. Thanks for looking.